Chapter 9 of Aristotle's Masterpiece by Pseudo-Aristotle. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Chapter 9 of the green sickness in virgins, with its causes, signs, and cures, together with the chief occasions of barrenness in women, and the means to remove the cause and render them fruitful. The green sickness is so common a complaint amongst virgins, especially those of a phlegmatic complexion, that it is easily discerned, showing itself by discolouring the face, making it look green, pale, and of a dusty colour, proceeding from raw and indigested humours. Nor doth it only appear to the eye, but sensibly affects the person with difficulty of breathing, pains in the head, palpitation of the heart, with unusual beatings and small throbbings of the arteries in the temples, back, and neck, which often cast them into fevers when the humour is over vicious. Also loathing of meat, and the distension of the hypochondriac part, by reason of the inordinate effluxion of the menstruous blood of the greater vessels, and from the abundance of humours the whole body is often troubled with swellings, or at least the thighs, legs, and ankles all above the heels. There is also a weariness of the body without any reason for it. The Galenical physicians affirm that this distemper proceeds from the womb, occasioned by the gross, vicious, and rude humours arising from several inward causes. But there are also outward causes which have a share in the production of it, as taking cold in the feet, drinking of water, intemperance of diet, eating things contrary to nature, viz. Raw or burnt flesh, ashes, coals, old shoes, chalk, wax, nutshells, mortar, lime, oatmeal, tobacco pipes, etc., which occasion both a suppression of the menses and obstructions through the whole body. Therefore, the first thing necessary to vindicate the cause is matrimonial conjunction, and such copulation as may prove satisfactory to her that is afflicted, for then the menses will begin to flow according to their natural and due course, and the humours being dispersed will soon waste themselves, and then, no more matter being admitted to increase them, they will vanish, and a good temperament of body will return. But in case this best remedy cannot be had soon enough, then let blood in the ankles, and if she be about 16, you may likewise do it in the arm, but let her be bled sparingly, especially if the blood be good. If the disease be of any continuance, then it is to be eradicated by purging, preparation of the humour being first considered, which may be done by the virgins drinking the decoction of guaiacum, with dittany of arete. But the best purge in this case ought to be made of aloes, agaric, senna, rhubarb, and for strengthening the bowels and removing obstructions, chalybeate medicines are chiefly to be used. The diet must be moderate, and sharp things by all means avoided. And now, since barrenness daily creates discontent, and that discontent breeds indifference between man and wife, or by immediate grief frequently casts the woman into one or another distemper, I shall in the next place treat thereof. Of barrenness. Formerly, before women came to the marriage bed, they were first searched by the midwife, and those only which she allowed of as fruitful were admitted. I hope, therefore, it will not be amiss to show you how they may prove themselves and turn barren ground into fruitful soil. Barrenness is a deprivation of the life and power which ought to be in the seed to procreate and propagate, for which end men and women were made. Causes of barrenness may be over much cold or heat, drying up the seed and corrupting it, which extinguishes the life of the seed, making it waterish and unfit for generation. It may be caused also by the not flowing or overflowing of the courses by swellings, ulcers, and inflammation of the womb, by an excrescence of flesh growing about the mouth of the matrix, by the mouth of the matrix being turned up to the back or side by the fatness of the body, whereby the mouth of the matrix is closed up, being pressed with the omentum or caul, and the matter of the seed is turned to fat. If she be a lean and dry body, and though she do conceive, yet the fruit of her body will wither before it come to perfection, for want of any nourishment. One main cause of barrenness is attributed to want of a convenient moderating quality, which the woman ought to have with the man, as, if he be hot, she must be cold, if he be dry, she must be moist, as if they be both dry or both moist of constitution, they cannot propagate, and yet, simply considering of themselves, they are not barren, for she who was before as the barren fig tree, being joined to an apt constitution, becomes as the fruitful vine, and that a man and woman, being every way of like constitution, cannot create, I will bring nature itself for a testimony, who hath made man of a better constitution than woman, that the quality of the one may moderate the quality of the other. Signs of barrenness. If barrenness proceeds from overmuch heat, if she has a dry body, subject to anger, has black hair, quick pulse, and her purgations flow but little, and that with pain, she loves to play in the courts of Venus. But if it comes by cold, then the signs are contrary to the above mentioned. If through the evil quality of the womb make a suffumigation of red styrax, myrrh, cassia wood, nutmeg, and cinnamon, and let her receive the fumes into her womb, covering her very close. And if the odour so received passes through the body to the mouth and nostrils, she is fruitful. But if she feels not the fumes in her mouth and nostrils, it argues barrenness one of these ways, that the spirit of the seed is either extinguished through cold, or dissipated through heat. If any woman be suspected to be unfruitful, cast natural brimstone, such as it is digged out of mines, into her urine, and if worms breed therein, she is not barren. Prognostics. Barrenness makes women look young, because they are free from those pains and sorrows which other women are accustomed to. Yet they have not the full perfection of health which other women enjoy, because they are not rightly purged of the menstruous blood and superfluous seed, which are the principal cause of most uterine diseases. First, the cause must be removed, the womb strengthened, and the spirits of the seed enlivened. If the womb be over hot, take syrup of succory, with rhubarb, syrup of violets, roses, cassia, purslane. Take of endive, water lilies, borage flowers, of each a handful. Rhubarb, myrobalans, of each 3 drachms. Make a decoction with water, and to the straining of the syrup add electuary violets 1 ounce, syrup of cassia 1/2 ounce, manna 3 drachms, make a potion. Take of syrup of mugwort 1 ounce, syrup of maidenhair 2 ounces, pulverlect triasand 1 drachm, make a julep. Take prus salt, elect ros messua, of each 3 drachms, rhubarb 1 scruple, and make a bolus. Apply to the loins and privy parts fomentations of the juice of lettuce, violets, roses, mallows, vine leaves, and nightshade. Anoint the secret parts with the cooling unguent of Galen. If the power of the seed be extinguished by cold, take every morning 2 spoonfuls of cinnamon water with 1 scruple of mithridate. Take syrup of calamint, mugwort, and betony, of each 1 ounce, waters of pennyroyal, feverfew, hyssop and sage, of each 2 ounces. Make a julep. Take oil of aniseed 2 scruples and a half. Diachimini, diacleothidiamosi and diaglaongo, of each 1 drachm. Sugar 4 ounces with water of cinnamon, and make lozenges. Take of them a drachm and a half twice a day, 2 hours before meals. Fasten cupping glasses to the hips and belly. Take of styrax and calamint 1 ounce, mastic, cinnamon, nutmeg, ling, aloes and frankincense, of each ½ ounce. Musk 10 grains. Ambergris ½ a scruple. Make a confection with rose water, divide into 4 equal parts. 1 part make a pomatum odoration to smell at if she be not hysterical. Of the second make a mass of pills, and let her take 3 every other night. Of the third make a pessary, dip it in oil of spikenard, and put it up. Of the fourth make a suffumigation for the womb. If the faculties of the womb be weakened, and the life of the seed suffocated by overmuch humidity flowing to those parts, take of betony, marjoram, mugwort, pennyroyal, and balm, of each a handful, roots of alum and fennel, of each 2 drachms, aniseed and cumin, of each 1 drachm, with sugar and water a sufficient quantity. Make a syrup, and take 3 ounces every morning. Purge with the following things. Take of the diagnidium 2 grains, spicerium of castor a scruple, pill fodit 2 scruples, with syrup of mugwort, make 6 pills. Take apio, diagem diamosa, diamb of each 1 drachm. Cinnamon 1 drachm and a half, cloves, mace, and nutmeg of each ½ a drachm, sugar 6 ounces, with water of feverfew. Make lozenges to be taken every morning. Take of decoction of sarsaparilla and virga aurea, not forgetting sage, which Agrippa, wondering at its operation, has honoured with the name of sacra herba, a holy herb. It is recorded by Dodonoeus in the History of Plants, lib. 2 cap. 77, that after a great mortality among the Egyptians, the surviving women, that they might multiply quickly, were commanded to drink the juice of sage, and to anoint the genitals with oil of aniseed and spikenard. Take mace, nutmeg, cinnamon, styrax, and amber, of each 1 drachm. Cloves, laudanum, of each ½ a drachm. Turpentine, a sufficient quantity. Trochyscs, to smooth the womb. Take roots of valerian and elecampane, of each 1 pound. Galanga 2 ounces. Oregan lavender, marjoram, betony, mugwort, bay leaves, calamint, of each a handful. Make an infusion with water, in which let her sit, after she hath her courses. If barrenness proceed from dryness, consuming the matter of the seed, take every day almond milk, and goat's milk extracted with honey, but often of the root satyrion, candide, and electuary of diaceran. Take 3 wethers' heads, boil them until all the flesh comes from the bones, then take melilot, violets, camomiles, mercury, orchia with their roots, of each a handful, fenugreek, linseed, valerian roots, of each 1 pound. Let all these be decocted in the aforesaid broth, and let the woman sit in the decoction up to the navel. If barrenness be caused by any proper effect of the womb, the cure is set down in the 2nd book. Sometimes the womb proves barren where there is no impediment on either side, except only in the manner of the act, as when the emission of the seed the man is quick and the woman is slow, whereby there is not an emission of both seeds at the same instant as the rules of conception require. Before the acts of coition, foment the privy parts with the decoction of betony, sage, hyssop, and calamint, and anoint the mouth and neck of the womb with musk and civet. The cause of barrenness being removed, let the womb be strengthened as follows. Take of bayberries, mastic, nutmeg, frankincense, nuts, laudanum, giapanum, of each 1 drachm. Styracis liquid 2 scruples, cloves half a scruple, ambergris 2 grains. Then make a pessary with oil of spikenard. Take of red roses, Lepididis hoematis, white frankincense, of each ½ ounce. Dragon's blood, fine bowl, mastic, of each 2 drachms. Nutmeg, cloves, of each 1 drachm. Spikenard, ½ a scruple, with oil of wormwood. Make a plaster for the lower part of the belly, then let her eat candied eringo root, and make an injection only of the roots of satyrion. The aptest time for conception is instantly after the menses have ceased, because then the womb is thirsty and dry, apt both to draw the seed and return it, by the roughness of the inward surface. And besides, in some, the mouth of the womb is turned into the back or side, and is not placed right until the last day of the courses. Excess in all things is to be avoided. Lay aside all passions of the mind, shun study and care, as things that are enemies to conception. For if a woman conceive under such circumstances, however wise the parents may be, the children at best will be but foolish, because the mental faculties of the parents, viz. The understanding and the rest, from whence the child derives its reason, are, as it were, confused through the multiplicity of cares and thought, of which we have examples in learned men, who, after great study and care, having connection with their wives, often beget very foolish children. A hot and moist air is most suitable, as appears by the women in Egypt, who often bring forth 3 or 4 children at one time. End of chapter 9.